sounds and smells of Runciter's Circus assault you as you step through the awning. A paunchy man in a green bowler hat rushes over and grabs you by the arm.
Finally! I'm John Runciter. I expected detectives an hour ago. Muckaboy found it this morning. Through here.
He steers you off the concourse into a white tent that stinks of piss and wet fur. 2 banks of dirty cages crowd the space. Runciter points to one at the end.
There.
A scrap of tape above the cage reads, Sitka. The tiger is dead. There are no marks or wounds on its body, but a thick white foam coats its mouth.
You see?
He says,
Somebody's trying to ruin me.
Over his shoulder, you see a figure skulking at the entrance. They disappear from view as you look up. A quick search of the cage shows no signs of interference. At the back, you spot a plastic container lodged behind the bank of cages. It's unlabeled. He grunts.
Fire breathers use it as part of their routine. It's a mix of alcohol and, something. Safe unless you swallow it. You think...
He turns as 2 police officers enter the tent.
Mr. Runciter, we got your call.
His head snaps back to you. Runciter steps toward you, balling a fist. He nods at the cage.
You did this, didn't you? Hey!
Runciter yells as you push past him.
I catch you near my animals again, I'll put you in a cage and let Sitka's mate have a turn with you.
The key attraction at the Runciter Circus restaurant is Nolly, the baby elephant who serves drinks. The diners whoop and applaud as she dangles a wine bottle, making a man jump for it. The woman taking orders comes to your table.
What can we get for you?
The waitress calls out your order, and Nolly trumpets back. She sways slightly as she sets down your bottle. It topples and rolls off the table, forcing you to catch it. Nolly snorts. A laugh? The crowd applauds, though you aren't sure for whom. The elephant can't keep a straight line on her way to the drinks trolley. A man reaches out to stroke her as she passes, and Nolly overbalances, staggering and collapsing onto a table. The crowd cheers and laughs, but you're not sure this is part of the performance. The waitress leans over Nolly, talking to her handler.
She must have gotten the booze again. Weren't you watching her? She can't have done.
The other woman insists.
She was only drinking water.
The handler's eyes widen.
Like the tiger? I'll check her bowl.
She's back a moment later.
It stinks of alcohol. Somebody must have spiked it.
The elephant wafts her trunk from the ground, and the crowd cheers.
Looks like Nolly likes to drink herself.
It's nearly Christmas. Many are drinking liberally. A man staggers up from a downstairs bar and falls over the top step. "Help me!" You can barely hear his voice over the traffic.
For God's sake, help!
People tut at the man's drunken state. A woman tosses a coin at him without even looking. The drunk clasps at his gut and looks straight at you.
Help me, please.
He lifts his hand from his stomach. His palm is red with blood. You press a cloth on the wound, and he hisses with agony. Another man strides up the stairs, laughing. He looks at the bleeding man, sweeps his Stetson off in a theatrical bow, then turns to you. "You best mind your own." He steps forward, smiling toothily. He twitches his jacket up and rests his hand just above a pistol. "Good evening to you." Tipping his Stetson in a gesture of farewell, he walks fast, but not fearfully, and does not look back. The bleeding man collapses into a fetal position. His clothes are saturated, and a bloody puddle has formed around him. There's nothing you could have done to save him. You could speak to the police, but you didn't see the killing blow.
Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found.
Madame Mina's fabulous boa constrictor is a highlight of Runciter's circus. The boy is uncertain. The snake flicks his nose with its tongue, and he starts crying. Mina steps behind the curtain as the next performer comes on, and you hear a shout from backstage. Mina's standing over a man in blue overalls. Her constrictor is wrapped around his ankle.
He tried to grab my snake.
She kicks him in the ribs.
Paul grabbed back. This guy must be the one who killed the tiger. Watch him. I'll get Runciter.
She leaves.
The animals are miserable.
He tries to crawl, but Paul consolidates his grip.
Runciter only cares about money, not the animals. I wanted to put them out of their misery. Please, don't let them take me. Runciter won't call the police this time.
He kicks and wails, trying to shake off the snake.
Please,
He begs.
I'm not a bad guy. I just wanted to help him.
Runciter steps through the curtain and takes in the scene. He smiles.
I think that tiger's mate would like to see you. You bastard.
I won't leave much to find that can be found.
You find yourself once again at Runciter's Circus. Mina gives you a cautious look, but can't hide her delight at the baby tiger in her arms.
Sitka, the tiger that horrible man poisoned, his mate had a cub. Isn't she darling?
The tiger's fur is incredibly soft.
That man was wrong to hurt the animals, but what Runciter did to him.
She shuts her eyes.
Runciter doesn't care about the animals, as long as they make him money.
She dangles the cub above her face.
What kind of life is that?
She presses her lips together.
You're right. I know how Runciter thinks. Even if he only cares about money, people will pay more to see happier animals. I think I can talk to him in his language.
She nods.
I'll set him straight. Thank you.
And the sea. And when I'm still empty, they're the ones who bury me. Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by and by I'll see them far and long. And when the night comes round. Well, I'm gonna stroll my day on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground.
The way the crowd jeers when she walks out, you're expecting a lurid freak show. But when she starts to sing, her voice is light and warm, rich on the ears. The audience falls into a rapt silence. The man in the next seat turns to you.
Isn't she something? We find love in the strangest places. I was a broker before the country went to shit. Now, this place is doing better than any bank. It's the truth. No matter people can barely afford to feed themselves, they'll come here. They need to be reminded that there's joy and spectacle in the world.
He pauses.
And music.
When the show's over, you see them together, arm in arm. He smiles.
Join us for a drink?
You drink the night away with him. She's quick to laugh and quick to make others laugh. He is kind and generous with the bottle and looks content just to hear her talk. The candles flicker as she waves one hand over the ball. Silver mist swirls up inside it. The tent feels closer around you. Her eyes study you intently as she sets the orb on the table.
Tell me what you see, and I will guide you.
She leans forward.
Yes?
Her eyes widen.
Someone long lost. Do they have black hair down to here?
She gestures.
And skin like mine.
She leans forward, knuckles whitening over the edges of the table.
What more do you see?
Her face creases into a smile.
That means I'll see them again soon. That they've forgiven me.
She laughs, long and joyful, leaning back in her chair.
Take this.
She passes you a coin.
It's only proper. Thank you.
None of the cats seem to be from the same litter. More like some community of strays. They rub against the little girl's ankles, showering her with affection while paying you no mind.
Do grown-ups like cats?
The girl thinks real hard, hand on chin, while she deciphers the implications of your statement.
That means some grown-ups don't like cats?
She looks gravely upset and hugs the striped tabby half to death. Your question animates the girl, who points at the cats one by one.
Here's Milton and Maurice And Gertrude?
This goes on a while. Whenever she seems about done, the horde grows.
You want to pet him?
You reach for a black cat who ducks and weaves to evade your touch. Another cat hisses at you. For what reason, who can know?
They like you. Yay!
You feel like you've made a powerful friend.
I'm gonna scroll my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground. 'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found.
Is Daddy still sleeping?
The girl whines.
I'm bored.
The boys share a look.
Yeah, see, he was real tired.
They see you, and one boy pulls C away, saying,
I think I saw a lizard. Come on.
The remaining boy silently gestures for you to look in the car. A man in faded overalls is curled up over the back seats. He's not breathing,
He's gone.
says the boy, tracing his foot in the dust.
I need help to get him out.
You carefully lift the body out of the car.
We don't have nothing to dig a hole.
You settle for laying the body behind a boulder, which the boy marks with chalk.
We got family back east. I know how to drive. We got enough gas for another day, maybe? Thank you. This will buy us enough gas to get us somewhere we can find help.
He glances at the boulder and hides his face from you.
I tell C, Dad went on ahead.
And my trains run out of track. Won't be no one else to take my
The man checks a wristwatch and swears under his breath. His fingernails have been chewed down to the skin,
Bus is late.
he says without looking at you. The man looks confused by your question. Upon inspection, the tickets in his hand show a stamp and receipt of sale, but the destination is obscured. Man looks at the tickets in his hand as if he hadn't known they were there. Slowly, some comprehension colors his expression.
Somebody came and went.
Some time passes. Quite a bit of time. You figure he didn't hear, so when he finally answers, it's nearly a non sequitur.
My name's Milton.
The man pops his knuckles one finger at a time and starts over. When a wren lands nearby and sings a little, you're grateful for the sound.
This will be my tale, my vagrant song.
You lie down for a nap in an abandoned rail car, delighted to find it still has actual berths, but wake to the sway of a carriage in motion, the rhythmic rattle of the rails, and the crack of gunfire. The porter's one of the biggest men you've ever seen. He holds out a hand.
Don't trouble yourself.
He addresses the carriage. His voice rattles your ribcage.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain calm. I shall have this situation resolved shortly.
4 bandits on horses keep pace with the train, trading shots with someone in a carriage further ahead. The porter slips out of your car.
Isn't Joe a wonder?
Says the woman seated next to you.
He's been on his feet for hours already.
You hear heavy feet on the roof. Joe's booming voice vibrates through the carriage as he addresses the bandits. You don't hear what he says, but after a minute, the bandits slow their horses and drop back from view. Joe re-enters.
Is everyone all right?
Joe smiles.
Thank you. I don't get no tips till the end of the run.
You don't know how you got here, but it's hard not to feel safe under Joe's watch. You wake up back in the disused train yard. In the dawn light, you see the rusting stock here was laid to rest long ago. You leave an offering on your berth and slip out of the carriage. The man squints at you, a smile spreading on his face. You feel exposed, like he's picturing you naked.
can see your light.
He snorts, possibly in mirth. No. He taps his nose and drops to a stage whisper. It runs deeper. He offers you the bag.
You can see it too. It's an elixir.
He opens his mouth wide to shape each syllable.
There are these beautiful little berries. They let you see the light.
It's bitter, but warmth rushes through you as it slides down your throat. Your eyes start to tingle. There's something behind him, a glow creeping over his shoulder. Your vision swims. You can see the light of every living thing. Coruscating colors, patterned auras clinging to everything. Light bleeds into light. Everything feels connected. You have a sense of oneness, a feeling of inner harmony. The butterflies wreathed in green, trailing red smoke. It's the most beautiful thing you have ever seen. You must chase it immediately. You follow for what feels like a few minutes. But as the sight fades and the stomach cramps start, you realize hours have passed. Your eyeballs ache and you feel exhausted, but the warmth stays within you. You could see so much light in the world.
It started around the time we would harvest corn. During this season, the Army of the United States of America raided our lands, burned our homes and crops, and killed off our livestock. The Army told my parents that those who did not surrender would be killed or face death in the harsh winter weather, and so my parents surrendered. Thankfully, I was a strong young girl when we were forced to walk over 300 miles to Huildi, or Bosque Redondo, New Mexico territory. I witnessed the death of many of our people, from the wise and caring elderly to the beautiful pregnant women to young babes who were shown no mercy by the U.S. Army. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story that looks to the future with hope? The Tigre are like that too. strong in the face of adversity. That story brings me hope. The past? Ha! They say time heals all wounds. But what about the trauma and harrowing memories from the long walk to Hawilde that will be passed on to our future generations? Chicas, my friend, I need to laugh. Can you tell me such a story? Oh, I don't have it in my heart to enjoy this story. Freedom. If you ask me, the only choice a free person has out here in this newly forming country is to steal, cheat, lie, and murder. But I refuse to succumb to those sick and wicked ways. Chicas, my friend, tell me a funny story. It's good to laugh. Luck? Sometimes I would look into the soul of some of those ill-fated people, and I would still see a breath of kindness and goodwill. Surely they aren't all doomed, or else there's no hope for the days ahead. Chicas, my friend, can you tell me a story that brings strength to those who hear it? That was a good story. It pleases me to hear about people taking strength from each other, or from the land, or from themselves. Another person told me the Bilacanas believed in a place called heaven. I imagine this isn't the same spiritual place where our holy people and ancestors have journeyed onto after they passed away. Chicas, my friend, tell me a funny story. I am sure you hear many on the road. I did not take much from this story. Perhaps different things bring each of us hope. Joy? It was hard to find any harmony or peace of mind in those days. The morning sun was often the only sign of warmth or hope left in the world. And now the sun is rising. I must prepare to leave. I have a long walk this way. Tonight I wondered, what memory do we carry in our blood? What will be passed on to our children through the power of witnessing and feeling the harsh flecks of humanity like sparks from a fire landing against the skin? I am left wondering what will become of our culture and our people once this cycle of inhumanity has run its course. We sing our way through it and look to the holy people for strength and protection. There is an overwhelming vitality in our songs. What songs help you to heal and persevere, chicas?
'Cause when that ferryman comes for to tally up my worth, I won't leave much to find that can be found. Well, I'm gonna have my spade up upon my way back. I'm gonna keep the last blood stuck in my soul. 'Cause when my coals burn low and my trains run out of track, won't be no one else to dig my hole. Well, I got no companion except the wind and the sea. And when I'm still and empty, they're the ones who'll bury me. Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the water.
We were fortunate. We persevered. Everyone lost someone, and by the end of it, we all felt like we had lost everything. Thousands of people covered such a small portion of land. Our people were not used to living in such conditions. That is where we learned how to make fry bread from the rations given to us from the United States Army. Things at Tawildi only got worse as time progressed. And then we were given permission to return back to our sacred ancestral lands. We were told to be grateful for signing such a deal with the U.S. government, but we couldn't help but feel nervous about returning home. Would the land remember us? As great a distance as we were from the 4 sacred mountains, I never truly did feel separated from the birthplace of first man and first woman. Some swore they could see Tadulza off in the distance, and sometimes I really could see turquoise radiating from the top of the mountain toward the cushion of the sky. No one could have imagined the journey homeward would be harder, but we had no choice. The holy people were calling us home. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story that brings strength to those who hear it? That was a good story. It pleases me to hear about people taking strength from each other, or from the land, or from themselves. We kept our tradition alive, so we remembered to extend gratitude and compassion. We remembered to celebrate who we are as people, to love the land, and to thank the holy people. and to take care of what is around us. This is what we know as a people, and this is what we have to teach the Bilagan. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story that looks to the future with hope? I do not understand what is so interesting about this kind of danger. Sometimes I wished I had run away with some of the other Dine. But my place was with my family. Though my mother was a strong woman, I could tell she still grieved at the loss of her infant daughter on the journey over. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story? The Digne are like that too, strong in the face of adversity. That story brings me hope. Heaven! Digne believe in the beauty way. We live our lives maintaining a delicate balance with the world. It is our livelihood. And because we pay reverence to who we are as a people, we have not faced the same fate as the Anasazi, whose ruins we have seen among the rocks. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story? Oh, I don't have it in my heart to enjoy this story. There are a few things I've learned in this life, and one of them is that the path you travel down will always bring you back home. Our people learned this during the treacherous 300-mile-long walk of our people. Shikis, my friend, can you tell me a story that looks to the future with hope? That was a good story. It pleases me to hear about people taking strength. Family! We come from a line of warriors. We have always known how to be resourceful and resilient. From the seeds of corn that we found on our way back home, to the sheep that we heard on the mesa, to staring the colonizers in the face, we pushed forward against the odds. The sun has risen. It is time for us to part. I must make my journey across the land this way. I hope I can see you there once more. I have been lucky to share my story with you, Shikis. But there's still so much to tell about what happened when we returned to the Tinepekaya.
And I know see them falling off. And when the night comes round, Lord, take me hand in hand. This will be my care, fragrant song.
huesos de la tierra. Clavaré mis tacones entre el suelo, porque cuando la calaca regrese al iluminador, habrá mucho por allá, dejado allá.
Bienvenidos. Come, sit with me. Sit with una vieja curandera. It is safe conmigo. Few brujas would dare attack una curandera. There are some of these witches, though they are strong enough to contend with una curandera, or foolish enough to try. I work mainly with las curaciones por la gente, pero I have more than un poquito de práctica with fending off the curses of las brujas. It is not for una curandera to take una vida, but I am not afraid to hobble las brujas. Do you have any frightening stories? Have you seen the work of las brujas on your travels? Okay. Do you get joy from telling me this? Sadness? I have bitter memories. Long ago I began teaching la curación to a woman who had promised. But she left for the city, renounced las curaciones as witchcraft. No soy una bruja, niña estúpida. But tell me, what is the most frightening thing you have seen on your travels? What a good story. Like what mi hermano used to tell me as a girl. Las brujas, they chose to bond with El Diablo. It is rare, but they wish to escape la prisión they created. Even rarer and very dangerous. Una curandera can help una bruja break the bond with El Diablo. But tell me, what is the most frightening thing you have seen on your travels? What a story. Mira mis manos. They are shaking. Nature? It is the way of nature to have balance, to have good and bad. Las brujas work the evil forces of the world, and I work with the good to keep the balance, keep the evil from overtaking the world. There are not so many curanderas now, and maybe more brujas than before. Do you have any frightening stories? Have you seen the work of las brujas on your travels? What a good story. Like what? Trust. Las brujas put their trust in el diablo in exchange for their power. It is unholy, and the only time one must try to change the belief de una persona. Es difícil. Very dangerous. Pero es por el bien del mundo. But tell me, what is... Oh, wow. My choice? I did not choose to become a healer. It was revealed I had el talento para la curación. I chose to honor el talento and learn how to be a good healer. Las brujas, they could have done good with el talento, pero no, they chose to do evil. Ay, estoy cansada, very tired. Always I am alert for a woman with the talent of la curación, and una bruja intent on destruction. It is a hard life. So much responsibilidad. It wears on an old woman. The journey take me this way next. Where will you go? I hope we will meet again. There is more I would like to tell you about the life of La Curandera.
Pues voy a cargar mi pala en mi espalda. Voy a guardar mi ruego entre mis suelas. Pues cuando mi llama llegue hasta abajo y a mi tren se le acabe guiar, no va a haber nadie más que cabe mí o yo. Pues yo no tengo amigo más que el viento y el mar. Y cuando esté frío y falta, estos son los que me enterrarán. Que me entierran. Pues voy a tirar estas piedras sobre las aguas de esta tierra y más tardar llegarán fuera de aquí, porque cuando caiga la noche llega por mí y me toma con él. Este será mi cuento, mi canción del
sun, my horse began to sway. Was then I heard a thunderous sound come rising up behind. The hoofbeats of 12 horsemen, they horse locked onto mine. White rider, ain't fixin' for to join your faded line. White rider, don't come to claim me for I had my time. Those 4 days ride from Tulsa, the rider's still in tow. They were dressed in white from toe to tip, pale horses trod below. And last among their number, a chilling sight to see. The 13th horse lay empty, with a saddle meant for me. White rider, ain't fixin' for to join your faded line. White rider, don't come to claim me for I had my time.
Well, I'm gonna stroll my name on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig.
Woohoo! That one's got a wild spirit to her.
She remarks, sweat pooling under her dark brown eyes. The car, halted in the middle of her garage, is a groaning, hulking beast. A gorgeous pre-Ford monstrosity, handmade for speed and grace, and perhaps not so much durability.
A ghost, a white, a soul, whatever you want to call it. Course cars have 'em.
She sighs.
But every year, there's less wild ones and more of these damn Model Bs. Tame things, weak and sorry.
She strokes the swooping hood of the luxury car like one might groom a prize stallion.
These beauties, not even their owners really understand them. But today's cars have petty souls. They're meant to ferry accountants to and fro, not to run wild on the open road. It is, and it should be.
She cackles.
Gods save me from the mealy-mouthed whining of weak engines. Any fool can drive a Ford, and so, every fool will.
And the sea. And when
Howdy, stranger. You passing through? This here desert is my home. Tourists like you ought to be careful if you ain't used to the heat. I grew up on my Uncle Eddie's ranch, where I learned riding and cattle rustling. But it's government land now. Seems like all government land these days. Now I'm traveling around the ranches that are left. Some folks would call me a cowboy. Not many is used to, mind. But I've been training to ride and rope for almost half my life. Name's Raymond Edward Dawson, Ray for short. And this Sleeping Beauty over here is Poncho. So, you know any good jokes? Amigo, that one's gotta be a lie. Don't treat me like I'm stupid, okay? Being a cowboy ain't just about the work. It's about the choices you make. You gotta do right by others, but you can't forget to do right by yourself, neither. You're no good to no one if you can't take care of yourself. But anyway, you know some funny stories, right? Oh, that's a good one. I'm gonna tell that one next time I share a campfire. My only family was Uncle Eddie and the folks at the ranch. Now, it's this here desert. The trees, the rocks, all the little critters in it, and Poncho here, of course. Even without the ranch, I got plenty of family around. So, you know any good jokes? You're funny as hell, you know that? Joy? Well, nothing makes me happier than the desert. And that word, nothing, that's the key. Nothing in front or behind you for miles and miles. It's all yours. And not yours, all at the same time. You know? I bet you've seen some really wild, exciting stuff out there, though. Tell me about it. What a story. Man, I'd never go bored sharing a campfire with you. Faith. I don't got faith in nobody but myself and Poncho here. No God's gonna save you from that hot desert sun he himself put there. No government man's gonna help you if he ain't got nothing to gain. But anyway, you know some funny stories, right? Huh. And that's happiness for you. Heaven? Uncle Eddie didn't believe in heaven. He'd always say, I'll just take a clear sky and an open plain. I made sure he got buried in the best spot to see both. Anyway, Uncle Eddie always said it's rude to keep on gabbing about yourself. So I'm headed out. Going up this way, staying off the road. Maybe. I'll catch you later, amigo.
They're the ones who bury me. Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and I know I'll see them far and off. And when the night comes round for to take me,
Folks wilt out of every car window, smoking cigarettes and jeering at the quiet crowd gathered outside the train. You spot the detectives by their shirts, buttoned so tight the fabric bites into their necks. Seems this ride's been stalled some time now. A passenger leans out of a stairwell.
This ain't the station, traveler. This train won't take you nowhere anyhow. Guy fell out of the car into the wheels. Folks talking murder, but I've had my heart broken. Probably some drunk took a tumble.
The man sighs and fans himself with the checkered tip of his tie.
Just a little. Used to think rail travel had it all. Damsels tied to tracks, murder mysteries, armed robberies, adventure.
The man shakes his head.
Mostly, some jobless fella dives into the cow catcher. Yeah, well, life ain't like the pictures. That's what my pop says. Boy, sure wish somebody would wring his neck.
The man drops his tie and glares at you.
Say, what's your line of work, friend?
Jagged sandstone rises above the lip of a hollow basin in the rock. A crowd is gathered in the foothills. Their excited whispers wash over you, echo off the ochre outcrops. You can almost pick out fragments of conversations. Up here, the acoustics resonate. You can hear perfectly. A woman fretting over her infant child. A man settling a gambling debt. And lingering, older voices. Those who lived here before the railroad, before the city. Their lives and hopes preserved in the strata. Part of the land. Below, barely visible, a woman steps forward. The crowd parts for her. She opens her mouth and begins to sing, a smoky, vibrant alto. The sound resonates in the basin, and the mountains join her in a reverberating round. Even after she finishes, the soft strains of music linger.